Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 2 of the Pokémon Video Game Champions League. I'm Mark, and before we get started with today's show, I want to say sorry because it's been 3 weeks now since I uploaded the first episode. I've had a surgery that kept me from recording for quite a while, but now I'm back and I hope I can still improve the show for you over the next few weeks. But first of all, here is a little preview of the things you're going to see in today's episode. Please take a look. We prepared a tutorial trailer of how to register for the next season of the Pokémon Video Game Champions League. Of course, you will see the 3 battles of the second match day, this time with commentary and introducing the tournament chart. In the end, I'm presenting the next 10 Pokémon of this VGC season's top 50. I guess the most interesting topic of today's episode is the trailer about the registration for the next season, so let's get started with this. If you have any questions that aren't answered in this trailer, feel free to ask in the comments or write me a message via the Crazy Hands Gaming Facebook page. In this tutorial you are going to see how to register for the next season of the Pokémon Video Game Champions League. But before we open the official registration, please take a look at the things you have to do first. Because there are going to be 16 participants for the next season, you need to make sure that you have at least 15 free spots left in your Nintendo 3DS friend list. Don't forget, the maximum of friends you can register is 100. Now make sure you already own the key item Versus Recorder in your Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire version you want to use. If you don't have the Versus Recorder yet, you can get it at the Battle Institute in Morville City. Please notice that the Versus Recorder can save up to 100 battle videos. For the show, the most important contents are the videos of the participants' battles. That's why you should also make sure that you have at least 15 free spots left to save new battle videos. After receiving the video numbers of your recent battles, we are going to record them for the next episode. While watching the videos, we will note down which Pokémon scored one or several KOs during each battle, so we can determine a top scorer Pokémon at the end of the season. To ensure that we have pure and correct results, you are not allowed to give up a battle or do anything to accelerate a loss, like attacking your own Pokémon. If you don't follow these rules or forget to save a battle video, the result won't be accepted by the organizers and you'll have to do the same battle over again. Abusing this rule to avoid defeats will be punished with a permanent suspension from this tournament format. Since there is a chance that our channel will offer prizes to participants in a later season, depending on potential sponsors and viewers, you wouldn't want to miss this chance by disobeying the tournament's rule set. However, you are allowed to change your Pokémon team during each point of the tournament, but don't forget about the top scorer that is going to get a little award in the next season already. If a disconnect occurs during one of your matches, please contact your opponent to agree upon another match. Please come to an agreement whether you replay the match like it was before the disconnect, or if you want to have a new battle where you can freely choose your Pokémon. Please do so before the rematch starts, so both players can disrupt the battle with impunity if the opponent doesn't stick to the agreement. Once again, be fair and honest to save you and us from stress and trouble. Play every match until it's completely over, no matter if you win or lose. When you are asked if you want to save a video after a battle, both players have to save it, so don't think you will stay unpunished if you say, "My opponent saved the video, but I didn't." For the presentation in our show, we are going to need the videos of each battle shown from both players' point of view. The servers to which your videos are uploaded to receive a video number can only store a maximum of 10 videos from each game. To avoid problems, you will be told after the first 10 match days when you can delete the videos or at least take them off the server again. Don't delete them before you are asked to do so, or battles might get lost that you would have to replay in this case. Only if you are willing to follow all these rules, you should think about taking part in the Pokémon Video Game Champions League. You can find all the rules again in written form in a link in the video description and on our Facebook page if you write us a message. But now let's come to the registration. The official registration will begin after the third episode is uploaded on the 1st of July. You can register by writing us a message on Facebook or on YouTube with the subject Pokémon Video Game Champions League registration. To make sure you read or heard about all the rules, write the code word BANANA at the end of your message. If your registration misses the code word, you're gonna be told by us that your registration failed. In your registration we will need your Nintendo 3DS friend code and your in-game name. Please also tell us about your experience level with competitive Pokémon battles and official VGC tournaments. If you accomplished great placements or might even be known by other VGC players for attending the Pokémon Video Game World Championships, we'd like to know about it. Registrations before the upload of episode 3 will be ignored, so please be patient. There are many more information to come in the following episodes to make sure there are no questions left open for the future participants. Further information on registration and the rules in written form will follow soon. But now that you know the basic facts, let's move on to the battles of the second match day. This time I'm going to comment the battles you see. I hope you like it better this way. Either way, please give me some feedback so I can implement your ideas in the next episode. We're getting started with my battle against Manuel, followed by Tsuna vs Cora and Zwockle vs Amanda. I hope you enjoy the battles. Okay, let's get started with the first battle between me and Manuel. I'm beginning with Liepard and Zapdos. Manuel sends in his Hydreigon and Talonflame. We both could win our first match, so let's see who can take a second victory now. To prevent massive damage, I'm shutting down Hydreigon with Fake Out first of all. Talonflame uses Tailwind to give Manuel's team an additional speed boost here. While Hydreigon can't move, I'm trying to take out Talonflame with a Thunderbolt. But it hangs on because of its Focus Sash. Unfortunately for him, it gets paralyzed. Next he switches Talonflame out, so I can't finish it off yet. His Venusaur comes in, what's his Mega as we saw in the last episode. With Fake Tears I'm reducing Hydreigon's special defense, trying to take it out later more easily. In return it uses Draco Meteor, but it misses my Liepard. Though it has a Focus Sash, that's real bad luck for Manuel now. My Zapdos gets his own Tailwind out, so in the next turn my Zapdos is definitely faster than his Venusaur. Manuel calls back his Hydreigon after this unlucky turn, bringing out Rotom Wash, maybe being afraid of Hidden Power Ice. Just as expected, his Venusaur Mega evolves right now. As I hoped, it doesn't protect, so I can use both Fake Tears and my real Hidden Power of the Flying type against it. And I take it out with one single hit. In comes his Hydreigon again, and once more I'm dropping its special defense with Fake Tears. Hydreigon uses Draco Meteor once more, and this time it connects and hits my Zapdos. It's down to about 22% of its HP. My Thunderbolt against Rotom Wash does only about 35%, so in return Rotom Wash can take out my Zapdos with a Hydro Pump. We're down to 3-on-3 Pokémon right now, and the Tailwind on Manuel's side ends. I'm sending in Gengar now. Manuel makes a good move here, switching out his Hydreigon again, because right in this turn my Gengar would have been faster and I could have knocked it out with Sludge Bomb after Fake Tears. His Rotom doesn't take the chance to attack one of my Pokémon and protect, so my Fake Tears don't hit it. Sludge Bomb, however, hits the Talonflame and it goes down. But now my own Tailwind is gone. Manuel can bring in his Hydreigon again. Because Manuel sacrificed his Hydreigon in the match against Zwockle, we don't know its item yet. To play it safe, I protect Mega Gengar and use Anchor on Rotom Wash to take it out of the game. Hydreigon uses Dark Pulse, predicting my Protect and hitting Liepard for about 40% of damage. The trapped Rotom-Wash can only use Protect again, so it's not dangerous for me anymore. Now Liepard uses Fake Tears once more on Hydreigon, but as I feared, it holds a Choice Scar, so it outspeeds my Mega Gengar and takes it out with its Dark Pulse attack. We're down to 2-on-2 Pokémon each now. The last Pokémon I sent in is Kingdra. Still being trapped, Rotom-Wash uses Protect successfully once more. To make sure I really can take Hydreigon out, Liepard uses Fake Tears on it to drop it down to -4. Hydreigon attacks Kingdra with Dark Pulse and gets 51% of damage. Luckily my Kingdra doesn't flinch, so I can use Dragon Pulse against Hydreigon to easily take it down in one shot. Though Rotom-Wash's Encore is over now, the battle is sealed for me, but I'm just playing it safe as I can, using Encore once more to trap it in its Protect again, but disabling the move at the same time, so I don't have to wait for Protect to fail. Now Rotom-Wash can do anything, and I can finish it off with Fake Tears and another Dragon Pulse, ensuring my second victory eventually, while Manuel takes his first loss. Let's move on to the second battle of the match day. It's Tsuna vs Korra. Korra starts the battle with Landorus T and Bisharp. Tsuna chooses Slowbro and his own Landorus T. While we see the effects of both Intimidates, let's look at the player's result from the first match day. Tsuna won his first match while Korra lost. But since she has a boosted Bisharp right at the beginning, let's see if she can make it this time. Because of the threatening Bisharp, Tsuna calls back his Slowbro and sends in Conkeldurr. But Bisharp attacks Landorus T with a Sucker Punch that it barely survives with 5 HP. What follows is a Rock Slide of Korra's Landorus T that connects to both targets and already takes out Tsuna's Landorus T. He decides to switch in his Amoonguss next. Facing Conkeldurr that might carry Ice Punch and Mach Punch as well, Korra decides to switch out both of her Pokémon, bringing in her Rotom-Wash for Landorus T and her Aegislash for Bisharp. Conkeldurr goes for the Ice Punch against Rotom-Wash, doing around 15% of damage. Amoonguss gets its Spore off and makes Aegislash fall asleep. We'll see how much of impact this turn will have. Now Korra decides to switch out her sleeping Aegislash and bring back in Landorus T to get an Intimidate off against Conkeldurr. Tsuna's Amoonguss uses Rage Powder to keep away Rotom-Wash's attack from Conkeldurr, and so the incoming Hydro Pump hits Amoonguss for less than 20% of damage. With the Drain Punch that was quite expectable, Conkeldurr attacks Rotom-Wash, bringing it down to around 45%, but triggering its Citrus Berry, so it's back at 70% of health. Now Tsuna wants to preserve a Pokémon for later use and calls back Conkeldurr and sends in Slowbro again. Korra, however, uses the chance for one of these very rare occasions where Landorus T can use Earthquake instead of Rock Slide, doing almost 50% of damage against Amoonguss and nearly 40% on the switched-in Slowbro. Furthermore, Rotom-Wash connects with Will-O-Wisp, burning Amoonguss that's down to 35% of its health already. But now it can freely use Spore against Landorus T to take it out of the game for some time. Korra uses the situation to switch Landorus T out once more and bring in her other sleeping Pokémon Aegislash. Rotom-Wash tries to get the KO against Amoonguss using Hydro Pump, but misses the chance by about 5%. Now Tsuna uses this turn to regain some health, using Slag Off with his now Mega Evolved Slowbro that comes back to full health. With Giga Drain, Amoonguss does around 50% of damage against Rotom Wash and regains enough HP to survive another burn damage. But now we see Tsuna's Amoonguss protecting, though it will definitely go down at the end of this turn because of burn damage. Korra goes for Thunderbolt but runs right into the Protect here instead of damaging Slowbro. Of course she would have lost Rotom Wash if she didn't attack Amoonguss here and was hit by another Giga Drain. This way the full HP Mega Slowbro can bring the Trick Room while Aegislash is still asleep and Amoonguss goes down to the burn damage. Tsuna is now down to only 2 Pokémon and needs to send in Conkeldurr again. Korra sees her chance there and calls Aegislash back once again to bring Landorus T and another Intimidate that Conkeldurr can't switch out from anymore. Mega Slowbro can now easily take out Rotom Wash with a Psychic attack to bring Korra down to 3 Pokémon. And he predicts the switch to Landorus T. Conkeldurr uses Ice Punch against it, and even after Intimidate, it's still strong enough to take Landorus T out. What a great turn of Tsuna, totally making up his leeway there. Now Korra has to switch in Bisharp and her Aegislash, that's still asleep. Aegislash is trying to use King Shields here, but is sleeping for at least one more turn. Bisharp goes for the Protect, since obviously there is going to come a Fighting type attack in its direction. Tsuna plays it safe here, fearing a possible Sucker Punch and using Slag Off, though his Mega Slowbro has full HP. And there goes the Drain Punch hitting Bisharp's Protect. This turn Aegislash finally wakes up and protects itself with its King Shield attack. Bisharp tries to go for another Protect, but it fails, so Conkeldurr can use Mach Punch and has enough power here to take Bisharp out. Because of the Trick Room, even a Sucker Punch would have been slower. But why does Korra go for another King's Shield here? Because of Trick Room, her Aegislash could have tanked the attacks of Slowbro and Conkeldurr, switching to the Blade Form later to do massive damage against Slowbro, or maybe even take it out. She just threw away the best chance to win this battle. I can't believe it. Now the Trick Room is over. She attacks Slowbro with Shadow Ball, and we see it doesn't take it out. If she only had used the last turn, so Slowbro would safely be down by now, leaving Conkeldurr with almost no chance to harm Aegislash. Now Slowbro can use Trick Room once more, and the only thing Korra can do in the next turn is protecting Aegislash again before it will eventually fall to a Scald attack. That's such a shame, Korra didn't see her chance before. Again, a Maya mistake prevents Korra from winning here. That's too bad. And as we see the final turns going by, and Conkeldurr getting the drop of King Shield, we already know that Korra can't win this anymore. King Shield fails now and Scald connects, so Aegislash finally goes down. In today's last battle, Zwockle faces Amanda. Both of them lost their first match. Zwockle starts with Charizard and Amoonguss, and Amanda goes for Gyarados and Thunderous T. Quite a promising matchup for the first turn. And we see the first surprise of this battle because Charizard doesn't Mega Evolve before protecting. Is there a plan behind this decision? Thunderous T goes for the Volt Switch against Amoonguss, expecting it to use Rage Powder most likely here. Amanda now brings in her Venusaur, knowing that Charizard won't hit it in this turn anymore. Gyarados goes for the Thunder Wave against Charizard, what would have been a great turn for Amanda if it didn't protect here. Amoonguss however goes for the Spore against Gyarados, what is the best move that Zwockle could make in this situation. Now the momentum is totally on his side. He calls back Amoonguss to use the chance and bring in his Hydreigon safely. As you could already expect, Zwockle now goes for the Mega Evolution and lets his Mega Charizard Y summon Strong Sunlight. Also Amanda goes for the Mega Evolution here. but she doesn't go for the Protect. Flamethrower connects to the Mega Venusaur, doing a good amount of damage, leaving it with about 25%. Gyarados doesn't wake up after only one turn here, and Mega Venusaur goes for the Sludge Bomb against Charizard, doing about 35% of damage, but unfortunately it doesn't poison. The next turn Mega Venusaur decides to go for the Protect because there's no other chance to keep it alive, but the momentum is already so bad for Amanda that it's really hard to escape the situation. Meanwhile, Gyarados almost goes down to Draco Meteor, but thanks to its Citrus Berry, it gets enough HP back to survive the incoming Heat Wave of Mega Charizard Y as well. But Amanda can't do anything here than letting both of her Pokémon die to a Heat Wave now. Swoggle seems to know and goes for a safe switch again to Amoonguss, preparing for the Thunderous Tea that is going to come in next and preserving Hydreigon that now got rid of its special attack drop. And as we see, both of Amanda's Pokémon go down to Heat Wave here. So she's down to 2 Pokémon, while Swoggle didn't take any noteworthy damage by now. Amanda's 4th Pokémon in this match is Gallade. Maybe it has a chance for a comeback, if it's fast enough. Swoggle goes for the obvious Rage Powder now to protect his Charizard from an Electric-type attack. Thunderous Tea goes for the Thunderbolt and does only 20% of damage against Amoonguss. But the fast Gallade comes next, using Zen Headbutt against Amoonguss. It connects and does enough damage to take it out. But now Thunderous Tea is open for Charizard's attack, so in comes the Flamethrower, hitting it hard and taking it out with a single hit. There goes the last chance for Amanda to turn around this battle, or does Gallade carry a Rock-type move? Meanwhile we see Hydreigon coming back into the fight again. I guess it's over for Amanda either way here. At last Gallade gets the chance to go for the close combat against Hydreigon here, taking it out with one hit and showing a great sweep right before it's open for Charizard's final attack that took out all 4 of Amanda's Pokémon in this battle. What a match winner. After seeing the 3 battles of today's episode, let's have a look at the tournament chart after 2 of 5 match days. After winning my 2nd match, I'm currently leading the tournament chart with 2 victories and a Pokémon difference of +5. Also Tsuna managed to win again, so he's 2nd with 2 victories and a difference of +4. Though he lost his first battle, Swoggle was able to win against Amanda, so he now has 1 victory and 1 loss, with a difference of +1, what currently makes him 3rd in our chart. Because of his loss against me, Manuel changes places with Swoggle, and is now 4th. He has 1 victory, 1 loss and a difference of -1. Amanda lost once more, so she is currently 5th, with 2 losses and a difference of -4. The last place is still taken by Cora. After losing her 2nd match, she has 2 losses and a difference of -5 already. But don't forget that we still have 3 more match days to come, and by now everything can happen. Let's hope for some intense battles and a close outcome of the season. Next, we are coming to the top 50 Pokémon of the 2015 VGC season. After the last episode, people told me that presenting 10 Pokémon each episode is quite much. I'm going to do so once more, and I'd like to have your feedback on this topic as well. But let me tell you that in the next season I'm going to focus on one single Pokémon in each episode, giving details about its impact on the game and ways to use it successfully. I hope you're still with me then. We're starting today's episode with number 40, Dusclops. While this Pokémon is almost perfectly predictable, it's still a great Pokémon to use in a Trick Room team. A sassy Dusclops holding the Violet with Trick Room, Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split and Nightshade is what you have to expect when you see this Pokémon in your opponent's team preview. Its regular ability Pressure is still present sometimes, but it's much more reasonable to use its hidden ability of Frisk. Whenever you send Dusclops into battle, it will tell you which items both of the opposing Pokémon hold. In case you suspect a Mega, a Scarfer or a Focus Sash here, this ability might save you from wrong decisions. Thanks to the massive bulk it gets through the Violet, combined with its 130 defense and special defense base stats, Dusclops is one of the best Pokémon to set up Trick Room. Since there is almost no chance of defeating it in one hit, only taunt or flinching can stop it. As soon as the Trick Room is out, it's hard to take on Dusclops, since it will be able to strike before most of its opponents and weaken them with Will-O-Wisp or regenerate HP with Pain Split. To avoid these problems, you can try to put it to sleep or burn it and wait for the last turn of Trick Room to attack it, since you'll get 2 attacks in a row before Dusclops can use Pain Split again. Notice that Sucker Punch won't work against Pain Split since it's a status attack. One of the safest ways to start against Dusclops is using Thunderous and Bisharp or Kangaskhan. Taunting it, knocking the Violet off, and finishing it off with a Sucker Punch might be the most effective way to deal with it. But be aware of its potential partners. You'll often see it combined with Hariyama carrying Fake Out or Morwal getting off its Intimidate before Mega Evolving. Number 39 on our list is Conkeldurr. This Pokémon can become a massive threat to a number of your Pokémon if you don't handle it right. The most popular way to use it is with Guts' ability to increase its power when it gets burned, paralyzed or poisoned. With its physical bulk, Drain Punch and the Assault Vest attached, it might be very hard to take this Pokémon out. Most of the time Conkeldurr gets KO'd by Hyper Voice of a Sylveon or a Mega Salamence. But don't forget that Conkeldurr can of course carry White Guard and a Citrus or Lumberry as well. Though this is a rather rare occasion, you should try to scout it if possible. The Assault Vest set almost always carries Drain Punch, Mag Punch, Ice Punch and Knock Off. That's why sometimes Iron Fist is chosen for its ability as well. Common partners are Pokémon with a good speed control like Mega Kangaskhan with Fake Out, Scarflame the Rusty or Mega Salamence. Since Conkeldurr carries Drain Punch and Mag Punch most of the time, it's a higher risk for its opponent to use Bisharp against a combination of Conkeldurr and a Pokémon with Intimidate. While in 2014 it became one of the most valuable Pokémon, Rotom Heat has lost some spots in this list in 2015. It's our number 38 for the following reasons. The presence of Rock Slide spamming Scarflame the Rusty is a problem that hits Rotom Heat harder than most other Pokémon. Due to the chance of flinching instead of getting a Will-O-Wisp off in return, using Rotom Heat has become a bit more risky. Also, there has been an increased amount of heavy rain teams recently, so if you face one of those teams, your opponent will know for sure that you can't pick Rotom Heat. Even Mega Venusaur has become a problem, because with Leech Seed and Sludge Bomb it has quite a good chance of winning every one-on-one situation against Rotom Heat, since Overheat doesn't deal enough damage against Thick Fat and a 120 special defense base. Still, there are some benefits that Rotom Heat clearly has. It resists many attacks that do massive damage against many other Pokémon. It's one of the few Pokémon that resists Hyper Voice of Mega Salamence and Sylveon at the same time. On the other hand, it can't do much damage in return. Out of the most common Megas, only Mega Charizard Y and Mega Metagross can't handle Rotom Heat well. For Mega Salamence, Hidden Power Ice would be necessary. Though some Rotom Heat have this move, the most common moveset is Overheat, Thunderbolt, Protect and Will-O-Wisp. Only a few Rotom Heat are not modest but calm or bold. The most common items are Citrus Berry, Safety Goggles and Choice Specs, but also Life Orb and Leftovers are worth mentioning. I guess the main reason for Rotom Wash being used more often than Rotom Heat is that its offensive and defensive coverage fits the current meta game a bit better. Just thinking about Landorus T, Suicune and Politoed for example. On place 37 we have a Pokémon that has never made it to the top but is one of the most frequent Trick Room sweepers. It's Rhyperior. With its massive 140 attack base stat and its step rock and ground type attacks, Rhyperior can destroy many Pokémon if you can't stop it. But even outside of Trick Room teams, the power of Rhyperior can come in handy. Often it is used as a partner of Mega Charizard Y to reduce its weakness against water-type attacks, and at the same time having a partner who can defeat grass-type enemies. With a 115 base HP stat, 130 base defense, and its solid rock ability, there's almost no reason to be afraid of any physical attack. Even moves like Earthquake often can't 2-hit KO Rhyperior. Rhyperior's moveset has 3 moves more or less set with Rock Slide, Protect and Earthquake. The 4th slot varies between Drill Run and Ice Punch. Some Rhyperior even carry Hammer Arm. This move fits best with the Assault Vest strategy, where Rhyperior can maximize its offensive and defensive potential in a Trick Room team, but without being able to protect. More frequent items are the Weakness Policy, that fits especially well with its Solid Rock ability, and the Life Orb. It's noticeable that some of the Pokémon that get KO'd most often by Rhyperior are Landorus T, Mega Kangaskhan, and Mega Salamence. To keep Rhyperior in the game for a long time, try to avoid Suicune, Amoonguss, and Mega Venusaur. Another Maya Trick Room sweeper is our number 36, Hariyama. With its ability to learn Fake Out, it's maybe the most common partner for every Pokémon that can set up Trick Room. Thanks to its HP base stat of 144, Hariyama can be quite tanky for 2 different reasons. The first and more rare one is that it can have Thick Fat as its ability, what makes it a great choice against Pokémon like Heatran, Mega Charizard Y, and those Pokémon who can carry ice attacks for their offensive coverage. The second and more frequent reason is that most Hariyama hold the Assault Vest. However, it's possible to have Thick Fat and the Assault Vest at the same time, but many Hariyama have the Guts ability, so they don't have to fear a burn. With Close Combat, Fake Out and Knock Off, 3 moves for Hariyama are almost set, while the 4th one can be either Rock Slide or Ice Punch. Be aware that some Hariyama will hold the Flame Orb to make it an incredibly strong Trick Room sweeper with its Guts ability and its Step Close Combat. Most dangerous for Hariyama are Hyper Voice attacks of Mega Salamence and Sylveon. Though it can learn Wild Guard, only very few Hariyama carry this move. After 2 heavy Trick Room sweepers, we are having a good supporter on place 35, Clefable. Because of its pure Fairy typing, it's most often used as a partner for Mega Kangaskhan, Landorus T, Mega Salamence and Bisharp, so it can keep dangerous moves away from them by using Follow Me. Clefable is one of the very few Pokémon that can learn Follow Me and Helping Hand, what is really great. Follow Me is not as situational as Rage Powder, because no Grass-type Pokémon and no safety goggles can come around it. That makes it harder to deal with Clefable. Since its physical bulk is not the best, Salamence or Landorus T make great partners by intimidating the opposing Pokémon. On the other hand, that makes Bisharp, the most dangerous counter for Clefable, even more dangerous. While Follow Me and Protect are the most common moves for Clefable, Moonblast comes third, though there aren't many Pokémon that take much damage from this move. Even before Helping Hand comes Minimize, what may or may not make Clefable an incredibly painful enemy. Ice Beam is only on place 6 of Clefable's most common attacks, though it offers it the chance to get 1-hit KOs against Landorus T and Mega Salamence with a little special attack investment. Most Clefable have the Magic Guard ability and the Bold Nature. The Citrus Berry and Leftovers are equally common item choices for Clefable. Number 34 is a potential Mega Pokémon that got upgraded when Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, Gyarados. After waiting for a Flying-type stab move for the longest time, ending up with getting Bounce, Gyarados is now able to learn Crunch to give it a physical Dark-type stab move in its Mega form. You should expect Mega Gyarados to make frequent use of it, but in fact it's not found in the most movesets. Besides the fact that only about 50% of the Gyarados you face will be Megas, there might be a huge difference in the way people use it. Most Megas will be used offensively, having the Adamant or Jolly nature and carrying Dragon Dance as well as Waterfall, Earthquake and Protect. Ice Fang and Crunch are alternatives if you find it useful to replace one of the other moves. Sometimes even Thunder Wave and Taunt make it to its moveset, but I guess those moves are more popular on the normal Gyarados that tends to be played more defensively in many cases. With Intimidate and its special bulk, it can take some hits if it avoids electric-type moves. The most common items for normal Gyarados are the Lumberry, the Rocky Helmet, and the Citrus Berry. All of them are used equally often, what points out that it's common for Gyarados to be more defensive than its Mega form. Because of the very common use of Sylveon with Hyper Voice, as well as some fighting-type attacks for offensive coverage like Superpower or Low Kick, it's more useful to leave the Mega Pokémon spot in your team to another Pokémon than Gyarados. Azumarill made it to place 33. Though you might not see it as often as back in 2014, it's still present and able to make use of different strategies. It can simply try hitting hard with moves like Waterfall, play rough, knock off, and Superpower, or try to put pressure on you with Belly Drum, a Citrus Berry, and Aqua Jet. That most common strategy makes Azumarill to a threat comparable to Talonflame, but with a different coverage. However, it's still possible that you see different kinds of Azumarill out there. Though it's not a frequent move, Azumarill might use Perish Song as a part of the Perish strategy. Seeing it alongside Gengar, Amoonguss, and Politoed might be a hint, but don't be too sure about it if you don't know your enemy. Amoonguss can also just support Azumarill's Belly Drum setup with Rage Powder, and Politoed can increase the power of Azumarill's Aqua Jet even more by making it rain and using Helping Hand. The only relevant item choice besides the Citrus Berry is the Assault Vest. Since most Azumarill have 228 or more EVs invested into the HP stat, it can become quite tanky by boosting its 80 special defense base stat with an Assault Vest. If you want to use the more frequent Belly Drum set, make sure to keep the damage against Azumarill low, since there will be Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Salamence, and other sweepers out there trying to reduce its HP by more than 75% to prevent it from boosting its attack stat. With a little flashback to the European Nationals in 2013, we're coming to number 32, Breloom. In Italy and Germany, Breloom was present in several winner teams in the Masters and the Seniors category. Because of its technician ability, its stab moves Mach Punch and Bullet Seed combined with its 130 base attack stat made it a great physical sweeper. Maximizing its speed stat also helped it to outspeed a variety of bulky Pokémon without much speed investment to put them asleep with Spore. With Protect and a Focus Sash to complete its set, Breloom was able to hold itself in battle for several turns, even though it could barely take any hit. In 2015, Breloom makes its comeback just how it was used back then. The standard moveset is still the same, and almost every Breloom is still jolly holding the Focus Sash. The only thing that mainly changed is the presence of the Fairy type and the increased amount of good Fire type Pokémon in 2015. Back in 2013, Breloom was a bigger problem because it was a good support for rain teams that already were powerful before. Putting Thundurus to sleep or defeating Rotom Wash and Tyranitar in one hit was an advantage that no other Pokémon could offer than to easily get rid of rain counters. This year Breloom faces different Pokémon more often, but its task is still the same: putting slow enemies to sleep or hitting hard against weak spots. Breloom might be one good reason because the item safety goggles increased in usage in recent tournaments, like when Yoshi won the British VGC event in May. The next Pokémon is one of Breloom's most common and beloved partners back in 2013. Number 31 is Liepard. Because its role changed a bit since 2013, Breloom isn't its most frequent partner anymore. Mega Charizard Y and Mega Gengar can make use of Liepard's support very good. With Fake Out, it can shut down an enemy for one turn, so its partner has the time to do massive damage. If an enemy dares to protect against Liepard, it can use Anchor afterwards to shut down the defending Pokémon until it switches out or the Anchor ends. That's why Mega Gengar with its Shadow Tag ability is a great partner. Both Pokémon have a great speed control, and with the combination of Anchor and Shadow Tag, or Fake Tears and a Stab attack, these two Pokémon have good potential to set their opponents under pressure. Of course, there are many Pokémon that can make use of Liepard's supporting skills, but be aware that Liepard or its partners can get in trouble if an opponent goes for straight offensive plays. Liepard might stand in your own way if its moveset doesn't give it enough freedom of action. That's why using foul play is still a very popular decision, though the move isn't accompanied by swagger as often as in 2013. If you see a Liepard, it's most likely that its fourth move besides Fake Out, Anchor and Foul Play will be Fake Tears, and it has special sweepers as potential partners to make use of it. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the show and you're with me next week for episode number 3. See you then. Bye bye!